You look at it on paper, you look at how well they're playing on live, how well they've been playing on Tournament Realm. NOP, I think, will have the edge here, Jay.
All right, then, so we are going to go in-game. Top left of your screens is going to be Payback Time. Sanchez, Gara, and also Tawan playing, well, we're going to be playing, it looks like double healer here. I can't think that is elemental. Shaman will have to find out later. I'll see what totems he is going to be dropping. He's going to go out with the...
He'll be playing Resto Shaman. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, sorry, there's an Earth Shield. Earth Shield up on the one. So it's double healer versus, on the other side, is going to be almost, doesn't look like double healer. He's only got 11k on that Shaman. We'll have to see when it comes out, and there's no Earth Shield up for that team then. So we're going to be following iPone into the center of the arena as Warrior go on Warrior, both going to be using axes, and already they are going to be building up full on Rage and looking for a swap. And the one, at the moment going reasonably low as iPone is keeping himself up a little bit nicer. Let's switch over to the Shaman. It's going to be an enhancement Shaman, so it's going to be Cleave versus Cleave. Cleave versus double healer. And well, the double healer, can they keep someone up versus this? And so far, the target for the double healer team is going to be the DPS of the one. And nothing really going to be happening. And actually a switch onto Gara as he dips down and actually is forced to get that bot. That's actually going to be removed, and Gara's had the bot removed. He hasn't got both targets on him though. They just actually look like they interrupted a heal, and now they're going to switch on to Sanchez. Actually, it's just the wolves onto Sanchez that's doing all of that damage, and the one is actually having to tank both the healers, and it does look like they are going to be switching off. In comes an improved hamstring onto the one, and they are going to be switching.
Watch out for Tawan here. He's got a full rage bar, and he's just going to unleash it onto 8-Pawn. Out comes the whirlwind from 8-Pawn.
Oh, there's actually a Hex onto the Paladin of Sanchez. That's going to be removed, and just in time before any kind of detrimental damage had been done. So one is still going to be chasing the Druid of Gara. And he's going to be stopped, and he's actually in a little bit of bad position there. Going to get healed up. Gara is going to be feared, and also Sanchez is going to be feared. Luckily, the Tremor Totem did break it, and Gara will be able to keep up the one. And this is what we're going to be seeing sometimes in these new matchups. Double healers are going to be maybe back in, but currently the enhancement Shaman going very, very low there. Switching over to the Druid from the team of NOP. Going to be healing him up through Mortal Strike right now. And it really is kind of a brute force game, and we expect intimidating shouts maybe to make a big difference. But out comes a Cyclone, and that's going to be doing a lot of damage from iPone, but actually the one was actually able to kite that out a little bit, Matthew. And what do you think is going to make the difference here as the one drops down reasonably low?
I think Tawan really needs to switch up targets. He's spending way too long on the Druid, and he just can't do that. He's wasting a lot of damage, a lot of rage that he could be otherwise using just because he's been trying to get on that Druid in the open stages of the game. But now he's got 8-Pawn targeted, who's also going to suffer from quite a bit of chain lightning that's pumping out from Gara, who happens to be drinking at the moment.
It's a Protection Paladin. Sanchez is playing a Protection Paladin.
NOP squad, they just can't let Gara drink like that. He just drunk up to, he drunk 8k in mana, and now Tawan finally gets onto the back of Teldu, who's going to quickly get away.
Yeah, and actually you can just see here, they're trying to, got 2 DPS on Sanchez, and you can't kill a Protection Paladin, that's why they're Protection Paladins, and he's just able to kind of flash of light on himself. He's going to have backup healing from Gara, and despite their better efforts, he's really not going to go down. I think they need to change a tactic there, NOP squad, and they are going to change. And actually, this could be bad for NOP squad as they've unleashed a lot of damage onto the Druid of Gara. He's going to have to back it away, and we'll get out of there. Sorry, not Gara. Is going to be the Druid is actually, Naef for NOP squad. I do apologize. Gara is obviously on the Shaman for a Payback Time. We did see him last game.
Gara has been playing very smart so far this game. He's been sort of drinking at the right moments. But look at this. Now he's down to 4k HP. The Whirlwind has come out from 8-Pawn, but he's going to survive it. And
also a Hex onto Sanchez there just for a moment. It comes off just in time as Gara will get healed up. Mortal Strike, though, still on him. And these Flash of Light still hitting for a lot. 3.8k there. And that's also going to put a hot on. But obviously they can dispel the Sacred Shield, and actually the Druid there did actually look like he drank up, and so Naef is going to be full on mana to keep up his 2 DPS team. And normally we see these matches go very, very quickly, but with the change of the game, with Resilience coming in, also Protection Paladins pretty much being broken right now, a lot has changed. We see a fear from the one, going to get rid of those wolves for that moment, and currently it's going to have iPone targeted.
Yep, look at Iporn. He's going to do some serious damage now. Sanchez's cooldowns are down, and look at this Iporn full rage bar.
Interrupt on and pummel onto the flash of light.
Is he going to pop the whirlwind? There we go.
Oh, actually,
uses the charge. Sanchez, he's getting in, spamming those flashes of light, and Iporn not being able to pummel.
Yeah, no, well, he's hit 2 pummels that he needed to hit, but still Sanchez is at full mana, full health almost. The only thing that's actually really changed here is the mana pool of both of these players. Mana Tide hasn't been down for a second time. It probably will be able to be used soon. We've got Nayef actually just using his Innovate there. So let's switch over
look
to
at this,
Nayef.
look at T1. He's dropping. Yeah. He went down to about 5k there, and as you said, in terms of mana, Payback Time are really struggling.
Yeah,
look at Teldlor, he's sitting at almost full mana bar. Garrett almost down to nothing. He is down to nothing now. Sanchez on the 7k HP, and you know, NOP squad have a definite advantage here.
They do, and actually Sanchez will have to, he's actually got forbearance up, so he's not going to be able to bubble. He's got Divine Plea. He's now removed Divine Plea from himself to make sure these heals come through big, and that was a big heal there. 2 of them coming in for 4k each, and Sanchez has to heal himself up. Gara is being currently kept in control. He's in a cyclone. He's not going to be able to drink. Sanchez just got hit by a pummel. And it looks like they could be switching targets now, the team of NOP. They've got retaliation up on Iporn. It looks like they're going to go for T1. And he does dip down to a 10k HP, and there comes he's going to tip even more than that. Sanchez, the only man to heal him. In comes a sacrifice. That's going to help the one just a little bit more. And even some damage coming in there with a chain lightning. And they're going to switch over to Sanchez, maybe a split DPS. Yeah, it looks like it. No, both of them going to go on to Sanchez now. Gara is going to be drinking. He is drinking. He has to come out and save Sanchez soon. And look, they've chased the Druid and kept him slow, so Gara has been able to get back 6k mana, and this will save the team of Payback Time, and they have another chance to come back in. But that was a very risky moment, but the one is going to dip down to 4k HP and finally get healed up with those big heals. Now Divine Plea goes back up onto the Protection Paladin, and that mana will be regained. And so, well, NOP have to go back to the drawing board, but that was a risky time there for Payback Time.
T1 has just not been playing very well in the last few moments of this game. He's just been hitting on that Druid Teldlor in vain, and really it hasn't achieved anything whatsoever. Even when Teldlor has come out of form, he hasn't been interrupting Bummels. Even he's had to use his trinket now. He's in a dodgy position, and I don't think it's smart. I think they should be putting pressure onto Acro and maybe switching over to the Druid just for the occasional hamstring.
Maybe they haven't been using Gara offensively enough with, you know, kind of spamming down those hots onto the Druid. Maybe that could work, but we do have a Blade Storm in the center that is going to be from Iporn. It's doing a reasonable amount of damage, but actually a disarm plus a Hodge. There's a Hodge onto the Druid, and they're going to try and get down the Shaman, and it's not going to work thus far. Hodge does wear off the Druid of Nayef, and he will be able to keep up a Chroma.
T1's Blade Storm is going to be on cooldown for quite a while now, and look, he's still on the back of that Druid and not achieving anything.
Yeah, but I honestly think that could work for them. I think that if you get on the Druid and get some pressure out, and then get him purged and, you know, to spell down, you're going to win the mana fight eventually. And in comes the Blade Storm on both of these targets. T1 is actually really healthy. He's going to be able to go behind, and eventually this tactic looks like it could work. No Innovate up, and they need to keep the Druid in CC. T1 now taking some damage, but he's got all the healers he needs behind him. He just needs to get back onto his target. There comes the Innovate. Now, where is Gara? Gara has just used a Nature Swiftness heal. He's actually targeted Iporn. Now he's targeting the Druid, but he gets hexed there from the Enhancement Shaman, and he's still going to try and taste the Druid. And, well, that's another mana bar they're going to have to get through. And both of these teams, you know, not trying to execute their tactics, but just not doing it well enough. But I still think that the Druid of Nayef could be punished. Gara going down to 7k. We've got Sanchez on full mana. Expect nothing else from a Protection Paladin. He's now going to remove. He could probably rebuff people mid-fight as well, just for the hell of it. But there is an Enhancement Shaman in there. And we do have a Blade Storm in the center. And in comes
that's going to put a little bit of pressure onto Gara. But Teldlor...
Bob's being used.
Okay, games are now 15 minutes max. We've just been informed by the admins.
Yeah,
and,
the new rules.
You know, the Druid for... sorry, the Druid for NOP squad. He was in a really bad spot now, but now he's looking very comfortable. He's got 1 minute left on his Innovate, and NOP squad, they were looking dodgy earlier. Now they're looking stronger than ever.
Yeah, well, he's got 1 minute left to innovate. Can they burn 6k mana down and get a kill? You know, especially with kind of life blooms and what happens when you remove them, refunding some of that mana.
I don't think
very
so,
difficult.
Jay.
I mean, they've got 5 minutes to do it. We're past the 10-minute mark. 5 minutes to get a kill. But also, it's normally done on the damage done.
Look at this. This could be the end of Acro. The Blade Storm's coming out. He's trying to get that last lesser healing wave. He can't. He's down to 1.5k HP. He's down to nothing. He does go down, and that's fantastic stuff from Payback Time.
Hello, Protection Paladin. Yeah, a Hodge followed by a Avenging Wrath, I think it's called, or Avenging Shield, actually will silence as well for 3 seconds, and that was enough just to get to a Krona down. So Payback Time do look like they're going to pick up the first round here, and it was a long one, 11 minutes. It's reminiscent and brings back memories, but well done to them, and they're going to go 1-0 up. And just having a look at the scoreboards, and well, just having a look at the team there at Payback Time, they seem almost out of energy on screen, as Gara still smiling always at the end. But just looking at the damages as well before they go back in to 640k. And then we look at the healing, really, of the Protection Paladin. And, I mean, you know, he healed more than a healing Shaman. 520 versus 500, about the same. Damage received was about the same, and also, you know, his damage done, but, you know, really looking at his Hodges on such a lower cooldown and his interrupts. But certainly playing that Protection Paladin for a reason. It did work out, but very, very risky at times. And you look at the Druid, you know, 111k done healing. Damage done from both of the players. iPone did 500k. 340k done for the Shaman there as well, and damage received was very, very split between all of them. Actually, if we kind of rack up the damage received from both and done from both teams, you've kind of got like 600, 700k there, and 500. So only 200k the difference playing with that 1 DPS versus 2. So still, though, they did a decent amount of damage. And what do you think NOP needed to change there? Because it looked like they had a big advantage and could have got a kill.
It really did. There were numerous times when Payback Time were in the worse off position. They had lower mana, but it really came down to Gara and Sanchez. I think they just did a great job of rejuvenating and knowing the right times to drink, getting out of line of sight. And you know, NOP squad, they tried to sort of mirror that later in the later stages of the game, but they weren't quite as successful. And to one, he was doing okay at keeping them in combat, you know, preventing them from drinking.